My name is Cookie, and you're listening to the Real Talk with Cookie show, where real issues crumble. Hey, you guys, it's Cookie with Real Talk with Cookie, and today we are going to have a blast in here because I have my brother. Oh, man, he's also my producer, my friend. I have Ryan in the building. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody?
Listen, I have to behave, you guys, because the boss is in the building. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to. But we wanted to go ahead and start on our second part of the series, I'm Dope. And Ryan, you couldn't join with us the last week because you had, some other prior engagements.
Right.
But, we just talked about how we were dope. But I wanted to go a level up and a little bit deeper this time into what dope really means.
Okay.
And there's some words that came to me as we were thinking about this that made me feel like, because I already automatically feel I'm dope. I feel like I'm unique. But I think that the people need some words to be able to help them, be able to identify with the word, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we go. Tell me what you think. We got the first letter, D, determine.
Okay.
Okay, that means you have to really have a passion for it, right?
Right.
Then you have O, they have to be an overcomer. A person that can just really overcome trials and tribulations and keep on pressing.
Right.
Then you have a person that's persistent. Person that keeps on going, almost like that little Energizer bunny, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the little batteries just keep on, the little feet going.
Mm-hmm.
They don't let anything stop them, derail them, or make them get off course. They just keep on going. And then finally, they have to have endurance. And that's something a lot of people that are dope struggle with. It can be a good thing and it could be a bad thing, but we'll talk about that later. As far as having endurance is so important, because if you throw in the towel too soon, your opportunity could be right around the corner.
Right.
So that's what dope means. So here go the words again. You got to be determined. You got to be an overcomer. You got to be persistent. And you definitely have to have endurance, So today, Ryan, I was thinking about this because I used to get high all the time. Okay. And to the point where, I just never wanted to come down. And now I just think about that because I'm more responsible these days. I'm just trying to make sure I'm living a life that is right. Mm-hmm. I really find other things to drive me, or the drive, the action of me having that experience or that feeling of being, high. And I know that you have done some research on this, and I know there's something that drives us, that makes us feel like we're risk takers, that we're seeking a reward or something. What is that called? Because I was just thinking, just having some type of special feeling.
Actually, when you guys did this show last time, I was really excited, and when I was editing it, and I was like, dang. Coming up with a couple of ideas and just, kind of feeling left out. And I say that because I don't believe and a couple of other people may not know that know me intimately or personally, but I suffer from ADHD.
What?
And so a lot of people actually do suffer from it. They just don't know it. ADHD is where there is a chemical imbalance. And one of the chemicals that's imbalanced is dopamine.
Okay.
And dopamine is a reward. It's an emotion that you feel with reward. It is an excitement. It's something that it's a trigger. And so a lot of times when you think about people with low dopamine symptoms or low dopamine, I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing some of the research that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
With low dopamine, you find people that are a little more easily to be addicted. Mm-hmm. So their trait is that they find themselves seeking the high,
and that's
through drugs.
Right.
It has to be manufactured dopamine. But then you have the other side, which is that sensation, that risk taker. That's just, I'm going to be high. You have people that are just high off of life. That's just, you ever just met somebody I've gone to parties and clubs or whatever, and I've met people and I'm like, and they just, they just the light of the club, and you're thinking,
yes,
I want what they're drinking, and
and they may have not even been drinking at all.
Not drinking
at all.
It's just
their personalities come in and they light up the room, and they go in with an expectation. I'm going to have a good time. And I think that's what drives that. The dopamine is the drive that says, I already know my expected end and I'm going to make it happen.
Right.
And so that's the reward of it. Instead of just saying, well, I think I'm going to make it, that unsure, that not being certain is not a person that's dope. You know, I think about as a child, my mom would always try to tell us, you know, go for your dreams and you can do this. And no matter how much she told me, I still had to have my own desire.
Right.
You know, my own push. And then you have people around you. You should have people around you that see you going on a path that say to keep you going, like
right.
even in a low point, you
right.
know? And if you don't have that, you need to cut some folks off.
Right.
You know, keep them moving.
Absolutely. So this is something I read in an article from Psychology Today. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that helps control the brain's reward and pleasure centers. Dopamine also helps regulate the movement and emotional responses. Now, this is what I really got.
Okay.
And it enables us not only to see rewards, but to take action to move toward them. Dopamine deficiency results in Parkinson's disease, and people with low dopamine activity may be more prone to addiction. The presence of certain kind of dopamine receptors is also associated with sensation-seeking people, most commonly known as risk takers. And so the reason why I talked about that and I say about the ADHD piece is that having or dealing with ADHD, overcoming ADHD is a symptom of low dopamine at times. And so with that, there comes some ADHD people, they have a lot of great ideas, a lot of great energy. They come in one moment and ready to take over the world, can write a plan, write a book, and then 2 hours later, they've got it stuffed in a corner somewhere. And
I thought he was talking about me for a second.
And so when you find yourself being regulated or regulating your dopamine neurotransmitters, then there comes where there's a balance of where you're pursuing and you're more focused and driven. And especially when you find yourself attaching it to a purpose. That's why, you know, one of the reasons for Be Unstoppable is just that.
Right.
Is to be dope, to
right.
be unstoppable, to overcome, to drive.
Hey, you know, I really appreciate you being transparent about that too, because sometimes we don't want to identify with a issue or a stigma or something that can label us, because then it can somewhat automatically cripple us, you know, because once people say, oh my God, he suffers from that. Oh my goodness, she suffers from that. Then they label us to make us feel like we can't even go any further because you're at that level. But the great thing about a pursuit of a dream, it's all yours, and how you go about it, it's all up to you.
Right.
And so being dope is something that you have to be able to want to do it, and you have to make it happen no matter if your mama and your daddy don't like it. The people around you that they say that they love you, and I mean, even sponsors or whatever, the craziest idea could be the next verge or the next moment of $1 million idea.
Right.
You know, but if we don't feed that monster, like constantly keep on feeding it, it can get low, you know? So you have to have positive people around you.
And it's so powerful, is surrounding yourself with people that can help feed or reinforce those transmitters, because something else, and I don't mean to
it sounds like you just take over my show. What?
don't mean to overtake your show, but this is what I just was thinking about as we talked about this subject, is that with dopamine, people with low dopamine have low attention span.
Maybe I got this.
So if it's abnormally low, then if you notice those people, I don't like people who don't have passion.
Me neither.
Purpose or a vision. And I can't be around people that don't have that.
It annoys me.
Yeah.
It gets on my nerves.
Because it and that's why I said you can't surround yourself. You got to be careful into what you're saying about surrounding yourself with positive people that have positive dopamine that can help, you know, reinforce that. What I was noticing when I think about people with low attention span, I think about those people that are low dreamers, that have no real...
Right.
They, you know,
no goals, no nothing, or they riding on the coattails of somebody else. and
Right.
they just don't want to go after it themselves. So they just say this. This just happened to me 2 days ago. I wore some black lipstick, and this goes along with this series, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And a young lady came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, that's so gothic. It's just, oh, I mean, why would you wear that? I mean, is something wrong?" I'm like, "No, I just wanted to accessorize with my outfit. It's just something I wanted to do with my style." 3 days later, I kid you not, the girl had on black lipstick. And instead of her celebrating or saying, "That's dope, where'd you get that?" And I could have told her, it's called Spirited by Mac. I mean, I could have told her where to get it. She tried to knock me down in my pursuit of my look, and I don't understand that whole tug of war. Like, there's enough room for everybody to win. There's enough room for everyone to succeed. We don't have to tear each other down to get to another level.
Right.
And in order for you to know that you're dope, you have to be confident in what you do. And if you set a trend, Ryan,
Right.
you started the channel, you started a trend.
Right.
All right. I have a choice to follow or not to follow.
Right.
I have a choice to be on board or not to be on board.
Right.
But there's no peer pressure. It has to be your own definitive choice.
Right.
And so if you're going to be dope, you have to make that decision to say, I'm going to be determined. I'm going to have that drive. I'm going to be an overcomer. I'm going to be a persistent person. And I'm going to have endurance. And I got to make it happen, no matter what they say about me.
Right.
I got family members who have never tried any of my products. You think I care?
Mm-hmm.
Don't care.
One of the characteristics you're talking about it, one of those main characteristics of being dope that I've identified in just some of the things that I've read is that you are determined. And people with low dopamine, I'm going back to this, people with low dopamine, they have no vision, they have no gumption, they don't want anything greater. You may think of those people that be like, I don't have to make a lot of money. I don't have to have a big fancy house and a big fancy car.
Right.
They don't have any dreams. They rather work, I don't want to be a supervisor. Hey, I don't want the headache. And it's like you don't value yourself enough to see the greatness on the inside of you.
Right.
And one of the things that I tapped into for myself, and it's a struggle just with everything we're talking about. The struggle is reminding myself of that worth and that value,
right,
and not having that letting the low dopamine
overcome you or bring you down.
Bring me down.
Which brings us to what does it mean to be dope? What does it take? What does it take to get there? And how do you really achieve that? I mean, as kids, we're are raised by our parents to become a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever we see in our society. We emulate that, right? That's just some of the characteristics that we may pull through and become as an adult. But really finding our own dopeness is just loving yourself. I realize that you have to love every part of yourself in order to know that you're dope. Because if you're worried about what people say, what they think, you are not dope. Because you will automatically never walk outside. You will never do anything of your own ambition. Like you said, the people that they're okay clocking in 8 to 5.
Right.
But a person that's chasing the dream will work the 8 to 5 to fund the passion to get to the pursuit of the ultimate goal, which is out of there.
Absolutely.
Which is my goal.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Yes. Out of here. So it's just something, that's what it means to be dope. You have to have that push.
Right.
And I think if I didn't have people around me to say, listen, you don't even know what you got, because you want to be humble. Now, I did talk, you have to be humble too while you dope, because sometimes you can get a big head and you get one celebrity, you get one person tagging you, you think you done made it. No, you have to have, it has to be fluid. It has to be something that's consistent about your pursuit. So, Ryan, what makes you dope?
What makes me dope is I am a dreamer, and I won't stop until I see the dreams come true. That does not mean I'm not challenged. It means for me that, you said something earlier. I dealt with the whole people don't do stuff until I do it, or, people hating on you. I had to take into consideration being around or surrounded by people who I felt always had a negative response to things.